Greek and Latin roots, list 2, all eyes and ears. This is your introduction video. So the roots that we're working with this week are vis and vid, which means see or look, and these are both Latin roots. Aud means hear, and it is a Latin root. And phone means sound, and is a Greek root. Your spelling and vocabulary words with vis and vid are visualize, vista, visionary, vision, visual, and video. So to break these down for spelling, there's 2 words that don't necessarily follow much of the patterns that I'm going to show you, and this is vista and video. So vista, if you think about the root, you can probably sound spell the t part of vista. And for video, same thing, vid-e-o. If you sound spell it, you'll be okay. And this is probably a word that you recognize. Visualize and visual both have the root visual in them. So I would first focus on the root on the word visual, and then once you can spell that, vis, you, all. And then when it comes to visualize, you can go visual, and then think about eyes, I-Z-E. Think about your word ending. Vision and visionary kind of follow the same thing. Vision is tricky because it has that I-O-N at the end, so the S almost sounds like an S-H. Vision. Visionary, you need to think about vision and then airy, the A-R-Y ending. Aud means to hear, and your words are audible, audit, audition, audience, auditorium, audio, and auditory. So these are the 3 words that don't necessarily follow the patterns like the other ones do. Audible, you have your root aud and then ible, I-B-L-E. Now I understand it can be tricky because sometimes that ending that you hear can have an A in. You just need to think about it being an I. If you think about all of these words, audible, audience, and audio, all have an I afterwards. It might help you remember what letter comes after the root aud in audible. Audience, you're going to have to think about your root and your ending. Aud, E, is actually an I-E, or sorry, aud, E is an I, ence, E-N-C-E. And then audio, kind of like video, you can sound spell it, but it does have an I. Aud, E is spelled with an I. I know it's confusing, and then O, audio. These words can be grouped together. So audit, auditorium, and auditory all have the root audit in them. So if you think about aud, your root, it, I-T, you can probably sound spell that to get the word audit. And then auditorium, aud, it, hor, e, you can kind of sound spell that one if you break it into chunks. And then auditory, audit, ori. Think about the word ending. You can probably get the spelling from there. Audition has your audit, but it doesn't sound like audit. So audition. You have that I-O-N at ending, so it makes the T sound like an S-H. Audition. Phone or fawn, it depends on the word, how it sounds. It means sound. So your words are cacophony, xylophone, phonograph, saxophone, telephone, phonetic, and symphony. So these words, xylophone, saxophone, telephone, and phonetic, all have the word phone in them, P-H-O-N-E. Now, the tricky part is xylophone, saxophone, and telephone, it all sounds like phone, P-H-O-N-E, phone. Phonetic is a little different because in telephone, your root says phone, and in phonetic, the root says more like fawn. It's kind of an interesting root. So in the word phonetic, you need to break it phone, tick. That's how I break it apart. Phone, tick. Other words are cacophony and phonograph, and then symphony. So cacophony and symphony could probably go together. I don't have them together, but you could probably think of them that way. Cacophony and symphony, your root sounds more like cacophony, symphony, okay? And then for phonograph, it doesn't have an E. It sounds like it should be phone, Phone, but it's not. Phone, which is an O, graph. So for your homework, you need to, for each root, write the meaning of the root and then draw a picture in the box beneath it. So under each root, in the small box, write what the root means, and then in the bigger box, draw a picture to help you remember what the root means.